click this button and then say, yo, what up? How's it going?
What?
I said hello.
Oh, I said hi.
Hey, it did pick up on the microphone. Ochaco 4 Under Earth. Ochaco 4 Under Earth. I love Ochaco 4 Under Earth. His character is very, very cool. So hit me with the pitch. What's going on with this deck?
I just like to do funny things with Ochaco 4. And with this deck, it's just more damage than anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it. Let's jump into the. So what do you need my help with? Is the question.
I need help with whether or not this is a feasible deck or if this is a nonsense deck. So.
Okay. The first thing that we get to look at is the fact that we have 72 cards.
There's a lot. I know.
The first thing we got to do is we got to cut some stuff. It looks like we are halfway. We're halfway down to play a couple different ideas, right? Like this one of City Rampage is very cool, and I wonder if there is like an Ochaco 4 that City Rampages. Whether it be here on Earth or on water, like a 5-diff Ochaco seems kind of cool. I am just nervous that like Neck Chop isn't, Falling Skies isn't, Moth isn't, but everything else is, right?
It was more for Zero Gravity Rush than anything.
Yeah.
Just to make it easier to play. And that's why Gigantification Swing is in there too.
Yeah. So I think Rush is cool. I don't think Rush is a 4 of cool. And the reason I say that is because like it's asking you to have 3 or more face downs. And on turn 2, it is very tough to have that happen. On turn 3 or later, it can. And so like on turn 2, turn 1, turn 2, getting stuck with more than one of Zero Gravity Rush is really bad. Or like it's a bad block. It's tough to play out early, but like late in the game, it's a 7 high for 7 that draws you 2 cards, and that's very good. So like the first thing that I want to do is like I want to move this from a 4 of down to a 2 of. Right?
Okay.
And then the idea of like Gigantification Swing, saying that all your charges are easier to play this turn. I think this idea is really, really cool. Tactically with Quirk Expertise of change this thing's zone, make it high, and now you can use Ochaco to give it the speed or the damage that you want it to have, right?
Yep.
This could be a 7 high for 7 at the commit cost, commit flip on Quirk Expertise. I think this idea is very cool, but I think that it is the only card in your deck that is allowed to not be high, because this is the one card, like we're trying to find this specifically for this card. And so things like Neck Chop, I want to cut. Things like Zero Gravity, I want to cut. These are really cool cards for the starter deck, but I don't think that they're very good for the for a constructed Ochaco deck, if that makes sense, right? Or like Neck Chop is very cool for a I don't care about high attacks deck. If I care about face down foundations, I'm so down, I'm so in. But since we care about the high zone, we're not going to always have the quick expertise. And we can't change our zone any other way besides the deadlock on the whatever, right? On this? Yeah, on quick response. I guess we could also do it on Twisty Surroundings. I guess we could, but we'd rather use that momentum on Gigantification Swing, right? Yeah. So I'm going to cut Chop. And I'm going to cut Gravity. And we're going to go find better cards that do this Earth Attack High Zone. Okay. So first and foremost, I memean, Battle Aura is like just a shoe-in, obviously. Ogre Boulder is a shoe-in, obviously. Hell Spider is a crazy card. Tetra Terror is a crazy card. Ignited Arrow This is a 7 damage move for free. I don't hate Barrage, but I don't love Barrage. Okay. And so, like, instantly being like, Battle Release is like a crazy card in our deck. Hell Spider is a crazy, like just replacing these 2 cards with the cards that we picked, just like instantly, like, I mean, obviously this doubles the price of the deck, right? And if we don't want Battle Release, it's just Ogre Boulder to do like the very similar thing. But like this says plus 1 trillion damage, right? So you ready? I'm gonna go back to the other card, right? Earth, attack, water, match resources, go. It was Neck Chop. So what does this card do, right? This card's a 4 diff, 1 mid for 5 that we're gonna give approximately 4 speed to, so it's like a 6 for 5. This card is a 7 for 8 on that same 4 diff with that same block, right? And so like this card just like this gives a stat pump, this gives a stat pump. This starts as a high, this doesn't start as a high, right? And so like this idea is very cool in the starter deck, but it, like there's just better cards to be played. The other option that we have here is like Ogre Boulder. If you don't want to like, if you are trying to make this a little bit more budget, I would first ask what's up with Falling Skies. But if we're gonna make this a little bit more budget and take out the Battle Auras, Ogre Boulder does that same thing of like it's a 3 high for 5 with stun 1 that gives itself +2/+2, so it's a 5 high for 7. That then you get to pick: is it an 8 high for 7 or is it a 5 high for 10? Right? Slightly worse block, but like does the same job that this thing wants to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like the idea that you had of like the job of Neck Chop is correct. It's supposed to do its job. There's just better applicants for that job. And then Zero Gravity. May I be candid?
It's your channel.
This might be the worst attack they printed in her kit, and they made it her ultra rare, which is crazy. This card's so bad for like what she wants to do. Why is it a mid? If this was a high, dude, I'd be so for it. Why is this a mid? Give it 1 less stat, and make it a high for me, and I'm in, right? Make it a 4 high for 6, and I can do stuff. Oof. Like everything else I would like is like decent enough, right? Like I could see a world where I play this. I could see a world where I play this. A 5 diff that just like readies the 2 face down. It's not doing it for me. So like to replace this high block, just the Hell Spider is just like a not fair card in this character. Mill 2, all your stuff gets +1 speed, and then you flip for speed or damage. And then we have kept our same numbers here. I think we actually reduced the numbers by 2, which is fine because I'm going to try and get this down to 60. Because I think this deck is very, very cool. When we look at difficulty, I have cut a lot of the 5 diffs. And so I think that City Rampage has to leave now. There is an idea.
That was the whole fun of it.
Oh, if this is the whole fun of it, right? And I'm down for this to be the fun of it. If this is the fun of it, we put it to a 4 of, because this card kills people whenever it goes off. If we want it to be a 5 diff Ochaco, we can make this happen. We can. 5 diff Ochaco seems kind of crazy. But this has to be a 4 of, because like we want to slam 2 City Rampages and murder them.
That sounds fun though.
Okay. Then let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Earth attack, 5 diff. I need high attacks if possible. What have I done? Why are you? Oh, it's earth and water. There's my issue. Okay. Storm of Arrows, Ochaco. I'm in. Cannon, red counter. Tetraterra is worse. We wish we got to play Merciless. Remove one foundation. Build a top card of your discard pile face down. So interesting. So this card is neat in their character because we get to remove a foundation and build the top card, and then we get to unflip it with our character, and that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Six diffs also exist. You know, that is a fair point. Let's do this instead. Is this the greater than symbol? Greater than 4? It is. Get rid of Titan Cliff. It didn't get tons better. Is there a Fury idea here? Fury, 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 Fury. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Okay, so there is an idea where, like, our new kill condition is like a howitzer impact cyclone.
Okay.
So any number of like city rampages into whatever, right? Titan Cliff, which like this card makes very cheap, and gets the 1/1. We build in the 6 checks, like build in a card, discard cards, redraw cards, and then howitzer to redraw cards, grab momentum and such. There's definitely an idea here. What are your thoughts on that?
We could try that.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these cool Fury cards in at a 1 of and see what we find. Play face down card from your stage face up. I don't know how we get a face down there, but I mean, we'll certainly try. Not completely blocked, don't clear after rival builds. I don't think that this is correct, but we'll see. Hardened Blitz, Prominence Burn. Prominence Burn Ochaco actually seems kind of schnasty. We're here. And then we do this. Okay. So this is also a Fury, and it says your Furies are easier to play. So we're allowed to keep Gigantification Swing. We can keep this, although it's not a Fury, but we are going to lose things like Falling Skies, Battle or Release, Flash Fire. Electric Moth is very good, but we have replacements of it with like things like Titan Cliff, right? So go to block zones. We put this at the 3 of, we put this at the 4 of, easy peasy. We put this at the 4 of, we put this at the 2 of. No, we have to Titan Cliff. What am I doing? You're a 3 of, you're a 4 of. You follow me so far?
Yes.
Prominence Burn is Flashfire is Fury and High, but not a 5 diff, which is what we're doing now. Because that's way cooler. Here, Zero Gravity might be a 1. Furious Assault. We'll see how many cards we're at. We're at 19. Okay, okay, okay. Furious Assault could be a 2 of. What uses momentum over here? Gigantification Swing. Yo, Furious Assault on turn 1. Gigantification Swing on turn 2. Nuts. Nuts. I'm going to cut the referee juries. This card is very
there just as a ha ha ha.
Yeah, this card's really good, but I really want City Rampage to be like the main backbone, right? And if anything, like we just side this, right? This is a really silly idea. I like this. I like this.
See my silliness is coming out.
Yeah. Okay, we refresh here. 71 cards. Our goal is to get this down to 60. And so let's look at our difficulties. First and foremost, Forcing Surrender gets to leave. Because we actually want this thing to be in the card pool because we want the +1/+1. And all of our moves, all of our attacks get the bonus from it. And so there's never a time where, like, we don't want it, right? If anything, it's, like, cut down to a 1 of, right?
Okay.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't that... I was in my head. I had something in my head, and now it's gone.
Well,
Sorry.
so the idea of forcing surrender is just like you play CD Rampage, you play your first move, right? It gets the plus of the check and the bonus speed and damage. And then when you clear this, it's just all of your moves get plus of the check because this one is counting towards progressive, right? It also counts. Right? And so like
Right.
clearing it is good if you're going to play like your 8th card, but like because of the fact that we get to re-ready cards with Ochaco, it kind of mitigates the fact that this card counts. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, I remembered what I was gonna say. Does Team Stash not make sense anymore because now we're not running charges?
Probably not. No. Yes. Yes. No. No. Yes. No. Yeah, Stash is gone.
I mean, I was gonna say it didn't seem like it's worth it anymore.
Yeah, I agree. There's also like a lot of other. There's a couple more cards that I wanna toss in here, but we gotta mess with some stuff. So easy cuts, vast strength to a 1 of. You cyber the second one. Quick response down to a 3 of. Learning the standards at a 1 of. Will of Steel is a beautiful sideboard card. After you block a throw, it deals no damage. If it had like deflect 1 on it, I think I'd be down. But like this card is just taking up space in the 1/5 slot where we could be doing something else, I think.
Right. I think it also it goes into the idea of like we're completely throwing this deck into like a whole different direction.
Yeah. 57, that's just where I want it to be. I do this. Now we reset, foundation, earth, go. So the big thing that we need to do is we have to make sure that we have enough 6 diffs or 6 checks for Titan Cliff to want to grab. So we've got the 4 with Pro Hero, we've got Quirk Expertise, and we've got Moth Monster.
Right.
But I want to go and grab Ultra Regeneration because this card is a crazy card for you to unflip with your character. After you take 5 more damage from an attack, draw 2 cards, gain 2 health. An insane thing to do. Absolutely insane. And so like this being like a 3 of, this being a 3 of, just to like try and save some room, right? Back to 59. There is an idea where, well, let's just look through the foundation counts, right? Quick to act could drop a little bit. It could drop to like a 2 of. I'm gonna cut the Force of Surrender. I think that your deck is just too good while still having that card in the card pool to worry about it. 1 Earth Foundation. Unstoppable Force. Shabujin's Message. After you play a block against Breaker 2.
That in and I took it out. So
yeah,
that's cool that it's just going back in.
It's pretty good. Destroy Foundation. Your attack is protected 5 difficulty gets +1/+1. That seems pretty okay in our deck. Fearsome Transformation is pretty good. Flustered is pretty good. Beep bop boop. Press Conference is pretty good in a deck that's playing a bunch of 5 diffs. Titanic Combat is very good. Weapon Clash is pretty good. Incredible Display is pretty good. Cooperation Offer is pretty good. We're getting a lot of cool ones.
I know.
Talented Baker. How do we draw cards? No. Yes. If it deals damage, draw a card. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. There is an idea where Talented Baker is supposed to be in our deck. Grabbing bonus speed with our character is silly. New training method is pretty good. It's like the best card we have. And then 3 diffs. History's greatest monster. Snap out of it has to be in our deck somewhere. We've put 100 cards in this deck. I'm very excited to see what happens with it. 68.
Oh,
okay. Okay, so the first thing that I can say is because we have made all of these cards highs, except for the one Gigantification Swing, and the fact that we can build it in with Titan Cliff, I think this gets to go to a 1-of.
Okay.
Because whenever we find it in the discard pile or in our hand, we just build it. Or it goes to the discard pile, and we just build it in with Titan Cliff. And then we're off to the races with Gigantification Swing.
Okay.
Quick response, number 10, Vast. I'm going to kill Learning the Standards. This is a sideboard card. Unmatched Power, I think, is a beautiful 1-of. Quick to Act, Chivalrous, Ultra Regen at the 3-of makes sense. Monster Aggression. I think I'm going to cut it just because we have access to the quick response. And I think we'll be okay. We were supposed to play 3 or 4 Fearsome Transformation because it draws a card. And we're not playing Flustered because we don't have enough charges. We already said that. Press Conference is a...
Meh.
It's pretty cool if we don't have City Rampage. It's pretty not needed if we do have City Rampage. So like 1 City Rampage plus like 3 attacks, and we probably just like don't need the Press Conference. So I'm gonna kill it. Titanic Combat needs to be a 2-of in our deck. Weapon Clash needs to be a 2-of in our deck. These cards build cards for free, which is going to be very good for our 5 difficulty package. Incredible Display we will cut because that card is too good for our deck. We've got 6 checks that do this. I'm trying to cut space. We want new training method to exist in here to build in this thing. So maybe it's just like a 2-of. And snap out of it. How many cards is this? 63 is not a bad number. 63 is not a bad number at all. If we wanted to be crazy with it, we could push this up to like a 64 card deck and play double snap out of it because I think this card is really important. I think this is like, so Mitch last night played an Earth Ochaco deck, and the number one thing that he kept finding is that he was running out of face downs. And this card says unflip a foundation is the first thing you do. And so this card keeps your foundation count healthy. And I think you have to have it unless you're playing the water symbol because you get the unflip kick.
Right. Okay.
Thoughts? Push back on me.
I like it. I think I like it. I think it's fun. I think the idea of just hitting them really hard 100 times is really funny. Because I'm a hulking grimace kind of girl.
Yeah.
And Ochaco just makes everything faster or bigger.
Yeah. I think this is where we leave it. I think this is cool. All right, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is neat. I'm gonna definitely play this. This is a cool one.
Dude.
Stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a good rest of your night. Okay.
You too. Thanks, man.
All right. I'll see ya. Love you. Bye.